What's going on, everyone? This is Ronnie. I'm going to give you a market update. I'm going to first log into the Hedgtrade platform, which is an AI-powered market intelligence, quant research, and cycles navigated for capital markets. It supports thousands of instruments. It is available for both retail traders and institutional investors. Before I go ahead, I want to give you a full-on disclaimer that this is for entertainment purposes only. This is no financial advice. Use that for your own interest and benefits. So the first thing I'm going to tell you is that I'm going to look at is in regards to the U.S. indices. So clearly everything's in the red. We all know that the market's been crashing. I'm going to go into guidance where I've got all my different asset classes. I've got my AI gen environment here where I can ask questions. But really, this is the repository where all the data sets, the risk data, everything is generated and feeds into the Gen AI, I should say. Uh, so first, I'm going to look at the S&P 500, and in regards to the projection, the future projection. So on the harmonics, I can see already that we're not done yet with the correction. So today is the 4th of March. We're probably going to go down into next week, 11th of March, before having a counter rally going up into the end of the month. So March 28th, March 29th. The yellow line is the seasonality index. So I kind of like the correlation that we've got here from today until the end of the month, where we may have a bit of a counter trend. Today is the day where the 25% in tariffs between the United States and Canada and also Mexico take effect. So it may be a sell the news by the rumor moment before we have now a counter trend going to the end of the month. Um, the Russell is also pretty weak, so let's look at the Russell. In fact, before we get into the Russell, let's look at the NASDAQ. So they all correlate with each other. Would not be surprised to see a similar projection. Yeah, same thing here. Counter trend rally going to the end of the month. Support and resistance zones, the red lines and the green lines. So for now, we may look at a counter trend before resuming lower going to later this year. But of course, these are short-term projections. They always adapts to the reality on the ground. Decisions are made throughout the stock markets globally. The intraday, yeah, so the NASDAQ here going to our trading session tomorrow is going to go down, so probably a good short with the support resistance here as well. Seasonality is probably going to show us an upward movement. So again, it's always a good trade when everything aligns well with good correlation, which in that case is a counter trend that I'm looking at going to the end of the month. But I'm digressing. I was looking at the Russell. Let's look at the Russell here. Russell is also clearly a short, the weakest of all, with the sentiment being I mean, 80% long. Clearly, that is a contradicting indicator. Should always trade the opposite, especially at that kind of extreme. And here we are again looking at a counter trend, possibly before. No, actually, pretty good counter trend going to April, but that may change as I just explained. But for now, we are definitely short. We're definitely shorting this with probably a downside target that's actually been reached already. So it's probably wise to leave it as is. Don't short this. Don't go long. Um, just wait until there's a proper direction that's taken. But for now, the momentum is definitely short. So if you're already in a short position with the Russell, just let it ride. It may actually be a good place to be. And that makes me think of the Japanese yen, the USD Japanese yen that's going to FX major look into the US Japanese yen. Let's look at where we are with this one. So that's also a short. Of course, it's a short. It's been going down for quite some time now. Sentiment. So 34% of all retail traders are long on that one. We may be due for a bit of upswing momentum. Yeah, but definitely still going down into the end of March, which correlates again with the US indices. No, that's not what I mean. No, we actually have some more downside if we look at the US Japanese yen here before having a counter rally going to May. But again, these are all fluid cycles. It always changes with it changes in real time. So Yeah, so we may be able to enter a short at 150, 150 something ish, and then write this down into the 147 level, which is probably going to be a short term bottom before we can write this back up on the long side. I'm going to look at the VIX quickly. The VIX been writing this up pretty well. Yeah, it's probably showing signs of stabilization. Yeah, there you go. So it's going to stabilize. So we'll probably be looking at some bottom, short-term bottom at least, seasonality wise. Yeah, so we're probably looking at a peak in the VIX going to middle of March before seasonality takes us back down here into the 18, 17, 18 zone. This is support level that we've got here going into mid-April. So that's for the VIX. And then I'm going to look at the last, maybe one last symbol to make this video short and sweet. Uh, Bitcoin. No, let's look at NVDA. NVIDIA. So NVIDIA is a short, as we all know. The technical overview is not very supportive. The trading strategy is telling us to potential breakout above 127.57, which is R1. The price breaks above this level, consider getting back into a long position. And the projection here, yeah, okay, so it looks like we may have a bit of a bottom here, short-term bottom going to middle of March, but not too exciting yet going to the long side. It's probably mid to longer term. Seasonality wants us to go up. Mid to longer term, don't have my answer on that one, but definitely a bit of a bottom here for Nvidia in the short term. Could look at other ones. What else? Let me finish the video by looking at, actually, let's go back to the Russell. Speaking of the longer term projection, let me look at the Russell here, longer term projection for those who want to short this and ride this on the short side. I'm not going to go into harmonics, but into the regression models, looking at the not the daily but the monthly model. So we may have a bit of a counter trend, whether it's flat or bullish, going to summertime, but definitely down going to next year, 2026. So there's your bear market on the Russell going down into the 1400 area before going back up into 2028. So that could be a good short trade to take on the US indices while maintaining your long exposure on the S&P if you want to hedge this. The Russell may be a good one going to next year. All right, guys, that's all I have. All the best. Happy trading. Bye bye.